Getting ready for gardening season this year. New gardening beds. Just filled these all up yesterday. We should have a really good crop this year. Putting in all this extra, work logistically, getting it ready. I've been thinking a lot lately about hard work versus strategic work. It's kind of what these garden beds are. They're more strategic, although they did take a lot of hard work to get there. They're going to help with, getting everything more manageable, less weeds, no rabbits, being able to eat everything, and easier on your back, too, not having to bend down as much. I've been a lot in life trying to achieve things, trying to, accomplish stuff. And a lesson I've learned is that just putting in effort is not enough. Just working hard is not the key to success in whatever it is you're doing. I think this is very clear. If you haven't noticed, there's some people in life, they've had very hard lives and nothing to show for it. Whereas there's been other people, maybe you've noticed in your life, who seem as if they just float on by and they don't have any issues. It's like they're lucky, something like that, right? Now, I've had my fair share of good and bad luck, but what I've noticed and what I'd like to help other people understand is life is not about working harder than others to achieve goals and whatever you're trying to attain. It's about making the right moves, about doing the strategic thing. Now, for example, let's start with literature. Right now, the last I checked, there's something like 3 million books published and in print. That's a lot. You wouldn't be able to read all those in your entire life, right? You wouldn't have the time if you just did the math. Maybe you could get up relatively, possible to do 10,000 books in your life. And the idea being you read those books, you become more intelligent, you learn the secrets of the world, and then you're able to use that info to go do things or accomplish whatever your end goal is, right? But here's the thing. If you read 10,000 of the wrong books, you wasted all of that time and energy for nothing. Now, there's people out in the world who have a lot of successes in life. They read barely any books, if not any. And they did all right, What is going on? Look, you would have to pick the right books to read. There may only, for you, need to be one book you read your entire life, and it had all of the info you needed to do the thing you wanted to do. Now, different people have different goals, etc. I understand that. But the point is, we're living in this world with so many moving parts, so many things happening, and we need to be able to navigate through the obstacles in the correct way, like an obstacle course. So, one of the things I've learned is you have to be intentional and thoughtful. You have to anticipate what is going to happen next in the world and what you are going to do next, both preemptively and the reactive way. So, maybe money is one of your problems, right? That's something none of us can avoid. We all have to earn some type of living for resources to be able to feed, clothe, and shelter ourselves, etc. Statistically, most people in the world can barely do that. They can't do it on their own. They have to have a group, a family, people to all help each other out, which is great. But here's the thing. Disproportionately, there is a very small percentage of human beings on this planet that have figured out how to attain the majority of the wealth. Now, some people may say, oh, they stole it, they inherited it, they did blah, 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 right? Look, that money, it's not that easy to just steal it. It's not that simple. If it was that simple, everyone would do it. They would just steal it, and you would say, well, they're immoral, they're whatever. Look, think about how many criminals there are in the world, people who try to rob banks, mug people, and take advantage of others. A huge portion of them are not wealthy. A lot of them are just in jail, and they're not that bright either. So what is it? It comes down to making the right moves. Now, here is a thing I've thought about a lot in life and noticed for me. A lot of people get confused and think that success, right? The key to it is working hard. This could not be further from the truth. It is not about working hard to gain your success. This is something you'll get punished for. Now, that's not to say you won't get a reward for working hard, that you won't get somewhere. You will. But that is not how you get the highest returns in life. Let's talk about a very basic thing everyone understands. Digging ditches. Ditches have to be dug. There is water. Water has to go somewhere. You can't have it flood where you live. You have them on the side of the roads, etc. Right? Now, you could work very hard digging ditches and, moving water away from where it shouldn't be. But that's a waste of your time. Not that it doesn't have money in it, but if you were to jump in a hole with a shovel and dig a 5-mile ditch, it would take you months. It would be ridiculous. People would think you're stupid when they watch you digging this ditch. And you have a government contract that's even paying you, and it's going to give you $50,000 to dig this ditch. It wouldn't be worth it. What you would do is you would go and get a machine that would dig the ditch for you, and you could get it done in really just a day or two. Most of you out in the world, to achieve your successes, are just trying to dig a ditch by hand. All right? And here's the thing. Let's talk about money, because, it's a necessity. It's not about being greedy. And the sooner you could make money or be able to make enough for you, you could get on to the other things, the things that are important to you, because that's really what it comes down to, is money is a tool. It's something there to help. All right. How can you think correctly about making the right moves with money? Well, to start with, a lot of it is understanding what money is. And I think a lot of people do not understand what it is. It's a measurement of energy. It's a measurement of time and value. Okay? So if you can do something that saves people a lot of time and a lot of energy, then it has higher value. Hence the ditch analogy. If you can get it done in 5 months digging it with a shovel for $50,000, that's that. But if you can get it done in 2 days with a machine, it's going to be the same price because you're giving them an added value of time. Okay, cool. So, not only that, Money is also, in its current form, a fiat. It's made out of nothing. And you have to realize that inherently, as it currently stands, it's just digits on a screen, right? Don't think it's this scarce thing that's unattainable. It's everywhere. You can have it so that you can do whatever it is that you're trying to do and accomplish more. I'm not trying to make this about making money an amazing, fantastic, the thing you should chase. I'm trying to get it out of the way for you. I'm trying to get you to understand, just like you have to sleep, you have to eat, you have to maintain your lifestyle, you need to get this thing mastered so you can move on to other things. Until you get this piece figured out, you're not going to be able to improve yourself, to help others, to experience the things that are important to experience in life. Harvard did a study. They talked about happiness in relation to money. And one of the things they found is that many people had much lower reported happiness levels, self-reporting, when they had under $75,000 a year annual income, right? And what the study found is that when people have bills that are due and they have no room for emergencies, they have no extra savings to take on medical bills that are unexpected, car crashes, etc., they're in more of a constant state of stress. And in that state of stress, they aren't able to think clearly or to be able to solve other problems that are bigger because they have one in front of them right now that's related to their survival. And you know, a lot of that is on purpose. I don't know if you realize this. This is a very well understood thing by people who in history have been in charge. If you can keep people in this constant state of survival, they can never look up from their problems so that they can start considering how to live better and maybe change things. It's a requirement. I know some of you may not want to hear that, but for the majority of people, they won't be able to start thinking about bigger things until this is settled for them, and then they can move on. So the number they came up with, that was, I believe, in 2010 approximately, was the $75,000, that Harvard study, in regards to happiness. Now, what was interesting about that study is after that 75K, generally for most people, their happiness didn't increase as the amount of income that they made continued increasing. So it seems as if it really was tied to, once you get your life stabilized, you can finally have enough peace so that you can start feeling it and experiencing those happiness emotions, if that's what you're going after. Okay, cool. So back to the efficiency thing versus hard work, or strategic thinking versus hard work. You have to disillusion yourself from this idea that hustling is how you become wealthy or whatever. Look at the richest people in the world. You can talk. Let's start with numbers. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, etc. Right? Elon Musk, 200-ish billion. Let's say Jeff Bezos, or actually, I think Elon just got up near to 300 billion. Jeff Bezos was 230-ish. Warren Buffett is sitting on $300+ billion in cash, etc. Right? Okay. What did these people all do? Elon Musk built rockets, electric cars, did Starlink, etc., right? Did Elon Musk build those rockets by himself? Did he get out the tools and materials and form those rockets? No. He hired massive amounts of people who did all of that building for him. He organized them and shared with them an amount of currency for doing their portion of the work. Along with that, did he even design all of that stuff? No, he did not. He did not design all of it. What he did is maybe a portion of the design or gave his inputs on it, but he hired people to do that as well. Here's the thing. Even if he tried to do it all on his own, it would be impossible with the amount of man hours necessary. You have to stop thinking of your labor as a commodity that is highly valuable. It is valuable, but it is not the highest value. Same with Warren Buffett. He has an exceptionally, you could say, easy-ish job. He sits in a chair all day. He doesn't really do, look at his health. The man does not look like the image or the, idea of physical perfection. He's kind of an old, frumpy, overweight guy who really isn't all that attractive. Like, he doesn't even click the buttons to buy the stocks that he invests in. He has someone do that for him. He just makes a decision. And this is what a lot of high level wealth is understanding how the world works, understanding how things function, creating a vision, and then getting people together and organize them to make that vision happen. That's high level. Now, you may not necessarily start there exactly. You could, but the point is, you need to step away from this idea of toiling. You have to start thinking of, how do I accomplish a goal, a big goal? Or, big maybe to you. It doesn't have to be creating rocket ships or, investing everyone's money for them all around the world, but just bigger than what you're doing in a 9-to-5 employee situation. The highest paid employees are like NBA players. Or, NFL players, basketball players, football players. They have a very hard labor job, but they're entertaining, right? They're not actually providing a real commodity-based service, such as a contractor, a nurse, an engineer, etc., right? That's another thing about it. So look, if you want to start solving your financial problems, if you want to start moving the needle so that you can increase, you need to start thinking about, how do I help other people in a bigger way, bigger than what I'm doing, not just a boss. There are some higher paying employee jobs, bankers, for example. They're something like $400K a year is what they can do. They're usually employees. But there's many more people on the planet that make more than that $400,000 a year than those bankers, and they're typically entrepreneurs. It's not that uncommon to meet an entrepreneur who's doing $500,000 and up annually, right? So you need to think from a very basic point. I need to accomplish something that helps tens of thousands of people and up, and is something that can either be done with employees or other people helping me to accomplish it, or some type of technology to do that. You can use software, computers, etc. You may even be a consultant. That's another thing. Or some form of entertainer, because entertainment can be sold in mass. It's like software. You only have to produce it one time, and then you can resell it many times over. That's the same concept of being a service-based or manufacturing, business owner, is that you create a process for servicing. Let's say you're a plumber. You create a process for how to repair plumbing and install plumbing. You teach it to, 5 to 50 people, and then you have them go out and apply that system for you, and then you oversee its, operation. Same with manufacturing. You create a machine that produces one item, and that one item is then able to be replicated, or with that machine and training operators to use them, that one item tens of thousands of millions of times to then be sold. Okay. Most of you are an employee. You're the ones who are running those systems for those people who organized you. If you are one of those people, you're going to be stuck. You're really going to be stuck in a near poverty or slightly above poverty position for the vast majority of people. The average income or the median income in the United States is like $60-something thousand. It's a little, every year it changes slightly. They say it goes up. The worldwide income median is like, I think, around $40,000. And remember what that Harvard study said. You need at least 75,000 annual to get past your worry about money so you can move on to those other things. The vast majority of the world is not going to get to that. And it's on purpose. It's on purpose. People who rule over you need you to keep you in a state of scarcity so that they can keep you distracted from what they are doing and taking the time to maybe say no to some of the things they're trying to implement. Oh man, the most obvious example of this right now in the world is North Korea. I don't know if you're aware of what North Korea is like right now, but they are probably the closest thing on planet Earth to living in hell right now than any other humans that exist at this moment. They're in a kingdom or in a country that is completely cut off from the rest of the world. No one can influence the individual citizens. And if you try to, they'll arrest you and execute you in North Korea. And not only that, they keep them in a state of poverty so low that their biggest concern day to day is being able to feed themselves. And they have some of the strictest laws in the world. Nearly everything is punishable by death. And not only is it punishable by death for you, but if you break a law, your family is also charged with the same crime as that you committed. So if you, in North Korea, take extra food than you're supposed to have, it's not only you that will go to a internment camp and be enslaved, it is also your family will go there with you. And in some cases, they do your next generation down. It's insane. But the point is they have an extremely tight control network. And they also have some of the harshest systems that people live under in the world. And they live in the most poverty. They have no rights, zero rights. It's quite wild. And so if you want the world to be in a better place and all these things, right? You want people to be able to elevate, let's say, from a self-improvement standpoint, a spiritual standpoint, et cetera, you need to start by taking control of your own life. It's your responsibility first. No one's going to do it for you, and it would be irresponsible for you to force someone else to take care of you when you have the opportunity and ability to do it. And I'm trying to give you a game plan here so that you have at least a vision of how to see and make that happen, right? You can do this. 100 billion humans have existed on Earth before you. Billions and billions of them have figured out how to become independent, self-reliant, and take control of their life. You can do it too. All right. So start thinking, how do I help other people in a way that is scalable, either from a operations perspective, running a business, or using, software, using technology, or it could even be investing, taking money and loaning it to other people so that they can do those operation things and then return to you the profits with your initial investment. That's what stocks are. All right. Now, this is a basis for moving up. And you may need to start out with a little bit of effort. I know the video started with working hard is not the answer, but you have to start with getting some momentum. You have to start with learning things. And a lot of that is through experience, not through just reading books. It can be very helpful to read books, but experience is the most valuable form of learning you can attain, because you get more information out of experience than from someone else's shared experience. Okay? Start off, pick something that you're interested in that you can stick with, and you're going to have to stick with it for a while. Learn everything about it. And from learning everything about it, you can then move on to figuring out how to do it in a better way that helps more people, and then organize other people to use that system you've came up with and charge people for it. And guess what? Because it's a better way, you'll be able to charge the same amount for a better service or a lesser amount for a better service, which will give you more market share. This is how you elevate yourself, and then you can start paying people more money by being a better business person or investor, and help them get up out of that scarcity level mindset so that you can then go on to help improve the world. First things are first in life. A lot of people like to think charities are the way to improve the world, that just giving a helping hand to people. No, that comes after the wealth has been created and people have come together and built things and made the world better. It's with that surplus that you make from those things that you're able to then go help the people that are in the most desperate. But you have to build a group or an army first of people who are capable. I appreciate you guys. Hey, this is a little bit longer of a video. If you think this is valuable, or you think that other people can learn something from it, please share the video. And let me know what you think. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.